So, some more Democrat talk for today. Cory Booker went on the I've Had It podcast, Libs in Revolt. That's the theme of the show today. The I've Had It podcast starts asking Cory Booker about taking AIPAC money, and is that a problem? Here he is.
Full of people that don't take corporate PAC money. I don't understand my Democratic
What about?
I'm one of a handful of people that don't take corporate PAC money. I don't understand my Democratic
What about AIPAC money? You take AIPAC money, don't you?
A minuscule percentage of my resources come from
I read it's like 800,000.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime number of raising tens of millions of dollars. Let me give you the right stat.
My pussy's cheap. That's what he should have said. It's because my pussy's cheap. Exactly. Like, the amount is such a red herring. It doesn't matter. Like, you are a pro-Israel voter in the Senate, which means they know that whatever amount they gave you, you're cool.
It worked.
Right? It worked. So, like, the amount is fucking meaningless. Whether it's 800,000 or 8 million, they bought you. They bought you. The fact that you were sold that cheap is a reflection on, how cheap your pussy is. Really. I mean, it's the Tim Dillon joke. Like, all you're saying is I sold out for 800 grand. I didn't even get 5 million out of them. That's all that means. That means nothing.
The majority of my money comes from small dollar contributions.
Yeah, that means nothing.
I think 76% of it came from people that gave $25 or less.
Oh,
Again,
wow.
we could pick at each other, or we could do what we need to be doing right now, is joining in a chorus of conviction to condemn it. And again, I'm a child of civil rights activists. You think Malcolm X and Martin Luther King agreed on everything? No. But when it came to
I know Malcolm X wouldn't take AIPAC money. I can tell you that. I can tell you Martin Luther King wouldn't take AIPAC money. I can tell you that much. And if they did, they wouldn't be saying it was only a couple $100,000.
Fight, they joined together and created a movement that was successful. And that's really what my focus is. And as the only person in the caucus that lives in a low-income black and brown neighborhood below the poverty line. I still remember when some progressives from the suburbs came down to protest me, and they were literally chased away by my neighbors because we are in an urgency. Every day I see it. We are in an urgency where real people are getting hurt. When I go up and down in New Jersey, they don't care about the fact that I took 1% of my money from some group. They care about what
real people are getting hurt in Gaza. Real people are getting hurt in Palestine. Were those progressives from the suburbs, were they complaining about that? And your moron supporters chase them out? We see moron supporters chase people out of town halls all the time. Moron Nancy Pelosi boomers, moron Kamala supporters. What does this mean exactly? Nothing.
What are you doing to restore my health care?
I think the Democratic base feels like there is a disconnect. We hear you, like when you did your 25-hour speech, I was like, go, Cory. I love this. That is amazing. And then
this is how you know you're talking to a stupid lib who was impressed by his 25-hour
and you're
speech.
losing her.
And you're losing her. So like when they start being like, wait a minute, no, this is no good. That's how you know that your whole operation has completely imploded. Anyone who was impressed by that 25-hour speech should be in your corner forever, no matter what. That's how dumb they are. But when you lose them, that's how you know you got a big problem.
then there's a photo shoot with you with Benjamin Netanyahu. And I was just like, what in the actual fuck? Like, how can he do that? It was heartbreaking. I felt betrayed.
Yeah,
and hang on. And that doesn't just happen in an echo chamber. Democrats like you, where the base, we should make each other better. It's not a purity test. We want credible messengers. Because when we are down the middle, beholden to corporate interests, we leave this vacuum. And that's how fascism has flourished. For myself and a lot of our listeners, when I saw the picture with Benjamin Netanyahu, I felt like it diminished your 25 hours. That's how it felt to me.
Was that Emily Jasinski's mom on the right?
Yeah, I don't know. Jennifer Welch, she's the woman on the left. She's the host. I don't know who the other one is. But that was one piece of it. And then here's the other piece. This is the piece that went super viral here. What is that? Almost 8 million views on the main tweet. This is her asking him very simply, is Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal?
The war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you think he's a war criminal?
Again, these are questions.
Yeah, we understand. These are questions. That's a Democrat answer. Is Benjamin Netanyahu a question? Well, let me tell you something. That's a question. Sounds like a Kamala answer.
Do you think he's a war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu? Do you think he's a war criminal?
Again, these are questions
Yep.
that a lot of people think are the important litmus tests that are loaded and hot. My urgency is to be an effective
loaded and
leader
hot. Listen, we're not talking about Rabbi Shmuley here. Stay focused, okay? Stay focused. Stay on me. I know you're friends with the guy, but he's not the topic of conversation right now. So enough about loaded and hot.
Loaded and hot. My urgency is to be an effective leader in bringing an end to this crisis. And I get these questions all the time that, to me, undermine my urgency. And
I think the thing that Democrats get so frustrated with, where we are right now, where you see like the Zoran.
They undermine our so you could see her like
the urgency of now. It's all those fucking platitudes and buzzwords. It's all they have. It's consultants speak.
Yeah, and this is something that clearly used to work on this woman. Like you see her reactions when he says that.
Undermine my urgency.
She's like,
I think the thing that Democrats get so frustrated with, where we are right now, where you see like the Zoran Mamdanis and the Graham Plattners rise up, because they can go on podcasts and you can say, do you think Benjamin Netanyahu's a war criminal? And they just say, yes. And that's the end of it. It's not all of the rhetoric answering. It's like
exactly
what happens to Democratic politicians.
Wow, only took you 10 years to figure that out. Great job. So when you ask someone like Graham Plattner, is he a war criminal? He says, yes. When you ask Cory Booker, is he a war criminal? You say, well, that's a question that undermines my urgency. Wow, it took you 10 years to figure out these people are full of shit? Wow. I mean, welcome, I guess.
Through this like prism, and then we can't ever get like the answer to yes or no conversations like you do with Bernie and others. And that's the frustration for the Democratic
Do I think Netanyahu is worse than Trump? Yes.
Okay, well, but he still won't call him a war criminal. Why? Because the ICC called him a war criminal. And so if he sides with the ICC against Benjamin Netanyahu, he's not getting any more AIPAC money. There it is, $871,000, 563. Also, here he is posing with Yoav Gallant, the Israeli Minister of Defense, for a nice chummy photo after the ICC arrest warrant was put out for him. So that's why he can't be so direct. That's why he has to say Netanyahu's worse than Trump. He can't say, yes, he's a war criminal, because if you say, yes, he's a war criminal, well, here you are, cheesing it up with the war criminal. There you are again, cheesing it up with the war criminal. Wait, where are you? Oh, you're hiding behind the third guy from the right. Notice Cory Booker wanted to pose with Netanyahu, but he knew it was going to look bad if he posed with Netanyahu, so he figured he'll have it both ways. He'll tell AIPAC, no, I was there, I took the picture, but he'll try to hide from view. Mehdi Hassan tweets,
that's amazing.
In a just world, every one of these Democratic senators would be primaried, especially the hypocritical Cory Booker, who is wisely trying to hide his face in this picture.
How much of a douche do you have to be?
Yeah. Third guy from the right, you could see Cory Booker standing behind that guy, whoever he is. Netanyahu is wanted by the ICC, a far-right authoritarian, and kills innocent Palestinians on a daily basis, including today. Yes, this was July, well after the arrest warrant was put out. And there's Cory Booker trying to have it both ways, posing for the picture for AIPAC, but hiding from the camera for his constituents. And, of course, during election season, Cory Booker is even more obtuse than he was on the I've Had It podcast. Here's Max Blumenthal backstage at the DNC. This is how much Cory Booker actually cares about this question.
Senator Booker, why have the Democrats just done so little to exercise leverage against Israel while it's...
When somebody starts out with the Democrats, I know they're divided.
President Biden. Do you think it's AIPAC money?
You're a Democrat. It's the convention.
Yes. How much AIPAC money have you taken over your career? And do you think that's had an impact on why Biden has not imposed a red line on Netanyahu's Project 2025 of ethnically cleansing Gaza? Is it meddling for AIPAC to donate so much money?
Oh, yeah. How many Palestinians does Israel need to kill?
How many Palestinians does Israel need to kill before you impose a ceasefire?
See, so you don't even get the time of day from Cory Booker when he thinks they can win the election while doing a genocide, right? That tells you what he actually thinks. Because if we could push Kamala over the finish line and facilitate this genocide and keep my AIPAC donors happy, then I don't even have to give these questions the time of day. That's his actual attitude towards those questions. He tries to worm out of it on the podcast because now he's one-on-one, and now they have to try and rally the base ahead of the midterms. But that it shows you how contemptible he is and how little it's working. I have to admit, I never thought I would see a day where you'd see podcast hosts like that kind of wake up to their game, right? But look, it's a pleasant surprise. I'll happily eat it. Like there does seem to be a revolt amongst the wine mobs. We saw that here, and we also saw it in response to the rat fucking of the Maine race, where Schumer's trying to insert this 79-year-old, and rank and file libs in good standing are rejecting it.
Yeah, there's a couple things going on here. One, many of us predicted, I actually, in the early days of Due Dissidence, when we were pretty much a blog, I wrote an article about how this was going to happen. And I think a lot of us who came out of the Sanders campaign saw that coming in 10 years. I mean, that was the general consensus. Like, these libs are going to figure this out when it's way too late. Right. In about 10 years, right. Because the country is going to have fallen to such a state that they can no longer avoid the reality of what their choices led to. And here we are, because we all knew that Sanders was kind of your last chance to shore up the system in a way that it could still kind of continue to chug along for a while. And that if you didn't get those kind of left populist reforms, you were going to get right populism, and the wine moms were not going to like that. And eventually they're going to start to notice that the Democratic Party delivered them into the hands of a right-wing populist movement. Now, they didn't the first time, and that was part of the function of the media
and Russiagate
and the politicians. Well, that's what I mean. The media pushed Russiagate and racists. So they were able to corral them in with that. It was an aberration. It was some lost tribe of racists we didn't know about. We never had them in America before. All of a sudden, they came up out of the swamplands and voted. We didn't know we had racists in America. It was that, and it was Putin. It was Putin, right? That kept them in the tent. And then when Biden won, they felt vindicated, right? Oh, that was an aberration. Trump 2.0, they can't blame it on Russia. They can blame it on races, but it's almost irrelevant at this point. The fact is, this party delivered them into the hands of the great Satan once again. So why is this wine mom rebelling now? Because they really hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump really makes them oogie. They're not, for the most part, look, the people who are in the top 20%, they're doing just fucking fine. They live in a completely different economy. Right. They live in a completely different world than most people live in. This is why, even in a place like St. Louis, you got a neighborhood. You got a neighborhood with a cute little barbecue place and a little fusion restaurants. You got that place. You got that
place.
They
have mint
everywhere.
lemonade.
They have mint lemonade. That's where you got your little cafe with the little book nook and all that shit, man. You got that pretty much everywhere, man. Those people live exclusively in that world, in that pocket. So to make them uncomfortable, you can only really make them culturally uncomfortable. Donald Trump makes them so culturally uncomfortable that it's making them mad at the party. But even now, there's only so far that extends. They're the same empty-headed morons who Obama ordered to vote for Joe Biden, who voted for Joe Biden. You want to see that in action? They're doing their second No Kings rally this Saturday. And this is a pattern with these people. Any protest movement they're behind has no demands. Has no demand. Once again, It's like the Women's March. It's like the first No Kings March. Again, it's a march about nothing. These are all Seinfeld marches. These are all marches about nothing because they have no politics other than Trump makes me feel oogie.
Exactly.
Please clap.